Hi, welcome to Minerva. This message is for those of you who are or have been struggling for several months or even several years, and you've been waiting for relief. You've been waiting for a change. You want something to happen to make your life easier because you've been struggling for a while. You have been feeling for quite some time, why is this my life? You've been waking up every day, maybe even hoping that it's your last day because it's been that hard. And you may even feel like you're not getting any support from family and friends because to them, it seems like you're always struggling. And you may recognize that all of these struggles are not struggles that you created. It just keeps happening around you, and you're doing the best that you can. You're trying to be a better person. Maybe you're even in therapy and doing self-help, and you've been doing so much stuff in order to make your life better, but it feels like it's all for naught. I get it. I understand. It's difficult. It's not easy, and this message isn't going to be easy either, because there isn't anyone that's going to come and save you. And you definitely need saving. Those of you that this message is for, you're the people that's been drowning for a while and you need someone to throw you a life vest or some sort of oxygen tank, something. You are the person that the lifeguard needs to go get. But the theme of this reading is strength. And if you know anything about the strength card, it's a card where you see this woman who is opening the mouth of a lion. And the lion doesn't look like he wants his mouth open, but he's not looking overly stressed, angry, or ferocious. And she's just calmly opening his mouth like this is nothing. There's no brute force. There's no kind of stress. She's just easily doing this. This card signifies a force of spiritual power overcoming material power. So this is the spiritual versus the material world. And the key is creating balance between our spiritual selves and our carnal nature, or the things that we want in this world. And we have to recognize or realize or learn how to balance the two. When you can balance that, then you have this inner strength because you're using both your spiritual knowledge, your soul, your guides, and you're using whatever it is that you had learned during this lifetime in order to create the life that your soul truly wanted. Sometimes when you're on a path that you're not supposed to be on, a path that you chose for yourself, but it's not the path that your soul wanted to be on, then you will experience a lot of friction. You will have a lot of conflict. Things are going to be happening because you're not on the right path. And you may want this to be your path. You may say to yourself, like, this is what I want to do, but it's not. It kind of reminds me of Bob Ross. Bob Ross, based on the documentary that I listened to, and it wasn't like an official documentary, so I don't know how true it is, but it seems that he was a sergeant. He was yelling at people and telling them what to do in the military, and he didn't really like that. And he ended up getting out of there and becoming a painter, and he was very satisfied with painting. And you would never think, or at least I would never think, that the person that I see painting all these trees was a sergeant that was yelling at people and getting in their faces. But he felt at peace doing this. It just didn't fit right with him doing the job that he did before. And he became recognized for painting and how easy he made this look. And that was because that was his path. That was the path that his soul actually wanted. And he wasn't going to feel at peace until he pursued that path. Some of us are drowning because we're swimming in the wrong direction. And as soon as we stop swimming in the wrong direction and we start going with the tide, wherever the tide wants to take us, that's when things will be easier. We have to take note of what our soul really wants. And part of doing that will be to connect with your spiritual side, meditate, focus, journal, listen or pay attention to your dreams to see what is it that you truly want to do. Do you want to be a painter? Do you want to sing? Do you want to be a dancer? Do you want to do Reiki? What do you want to do? What is it that where is your heart taking you? Do you want to sit here and work really hard as a lawyer in some office, or do you actually want to give more back to your community and help those people that really can't help themselves? Like, what do you truly, in your deepest of deepest hearts, what is it that you want to do? Or what is it that you would have done if money wasn't an object? If you could say to yourself, like, you know what, if it wasn't about money, if it wasn't about prestige, if it wasn't about the pressure of society or my family and friends, what do I really want to do? And you have to say, you know what, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should go off into the world and create this nonprofit organization to help the homeless. Like, maybe I need to create this beautiful community to support whoever I feel needs support in the community. You know, maybe I do need to start that business. Whatever it is that you feel that your heart's desire, go ahead and do it. Another thing too is that when you give back to someone and you can see the pleasure that it brings to another person, it is the most wonderful feeling in the world. And I think people who have never been taught to give back, or they've never done anything requiring them to give back to people, to give back to strangers, they haven't done volunteer work, they may not know or understand how great of a fulfillment that is. And so they may become super successful wanting to have. And then what happens is they have all these things and they feel empty inside. And so they need to have more, and they look like gluttons because it's just like no matter how much they have, they're not satisfied. And that's because that they never really truly gave back to anybody. And any philanthropy that they do is only for a tax write-off and not necessarily to truly help anyone. And they're sending this money into a void. They don't see who they're actually helping. They're not on the ground to really know, like, is this helping anyone? And am I actually helping? They're far removed from it. And chances are if they did see these things and they did see that, oh my gosh, they have done immense work, they may feel a fulfillment inside of them, and it would fill that hole that's there, because maybe their soul wants to do this, but they're not attached to it. They're separated. They're not going to pay attention. They're going to ignore those signs or their heart and their dreams. And I'm here to tell you, for those of you that are struggling, or you just feel like everything is failing around you and you've been like this for a while and you're just waiting for an answer, this is your answer. The answer is you. You have to do an assessment of your life, and you have to figure out, what is it that you truly want? Where do you truly want to go? And then you have to figure out how you're going to do this. How does this look? Who can this help? Who are you giving back to? Some of you are here for a mission, and you have to get on that path to help others in the community. If you're not doing this, or if you don't do this, you are going to continue to struggle. You're going to continue to have conflict in your life, because you're swimming against the tide. You're not going in the direction that you were supposed to go. You're not going in the direction that your contract that you made, your spiritual contract that you made before you got here, told you to go in. And so life is pretty much telling you that you're going in the wrong direction, and it's trying to let you know that you're swimming against the tide. The reason why it's so difficult is because you're on the wrong path. It's not meant to be difficult for you. It's actually meant to be very easy, but you have to be on the right path. You have to go in the right direction. And once you do that, it's going to become easy. It's not going to be easy at first, because, of course, anything that's different is going to be challenging. But once you go in the right direction, things will smooth out and it'll be easy. And you're going to go, why didn't I do this before? It may even help other segments of your life, like the relationships that you have. Because, for example, with family and friends, if you're the one that's always been struggling for so many years, they may not want to be around that all the time, or they may not have the capacity to deal with that all the time. So once you start doing well, then you're going to have a different mood, and that might be the person that they're excited to be around and want to be around more, because it can be very tiring and draining at times to be around someone who is just down in the dumps all the time. And we have to remember that and not take it to heart if someone says, ugh, like I can't do this. It's heavy, it's hard, and it's just too much. We can't give them a hard time if they themselves can't take on the heaviness. And sometimes some people don't take any heaviness at all. They're not even going to try because maybe that person isn't a part of your tribe. That's another thing that we also need to recognize. Who in our life is truly supposed to be there, and who in our lives do we need to walk away from? And you have to walk away. It's important for us to learn detachment as well. Detachment is critical because you're not just detaching from people, but you're detaching from a particular lifestyle, and a particular lifestyle that isn't the lifestyle that is necessary or needed for you to follow the path that you're supposed to follow. So overall, this is for specific people. This isn't for everyone. And it's specifically for those of you that are here on a mission, and you need to understand that you have to go in the right direction or you're going to continue going up against a wall. It's going to continue because you're choosing the wrong path. And I don't want to say wrong because it's not wrong in a sense of that is bad. Like if you are successful in what you do and it has brought you many fortunes, or maybe you're not super successful, but you're surviving and you're doing well for yourself, but it just seems like you're just not happy. You're just having struggles, like you're getting more work, your boss is on your butt, your coworkers just are always fighting with you, or it just doesn't seem to be working out. It just almost seems like the whole world is conspiring against you. They are. Yeah, they are, because you're not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be taking a different path, but you're on this path that you're on because that's what you chose. It's not what your soul chose, but it's what your human self chose. So you need to focus on, what does your soul want? What were you supposed to be here for? There's different meditations that you can do in order to connect to your higher self. There's also meditation you can do to figure out what your actual life purpose was. You could sit in your just thoughts and also journal and kind of figure out what you really felt a strong passion for. Maybe it's something that you really love to do in your youth, or maybe it's something you do as a hobby now, but for whatever reason, you just didn't go for it. And you need to figure this out for yourself. You have to figure out, like, okay, what is it that I feel the need to do, or what gifts do I have that I'm not giving or applying to my community? What is it that I have or been brought into this world to have, and I'm just hiding it behind closed doors because I want to be accepted by the material world as opposed to doing what I was brought here to do? That's for you to figure out on your own. And that's for you to be able to determine how you're going to go about being on the path that you were meant to be on, the path for your soul. Not for your material worldly self, but your soul. Thank you so much for listening in. I hope this really helps you. Have a wonderful day.